everyone, and welcome back to the channel, Say What's Real TV. This review is for Tyler Perry's Zatima Season 2, Episode 8, Suspicious Minds, now streaming over on BET+. So we open up the episode with Fatima. She's in her office. She got on her nice fitted purple skirt, tooted and booted, all facing the door with that thing posted up in the air as Paul, with his stalking behind, walks in. So she's like, "What are you doing here?" He claims he's bringing her this warranty for her tire. And she's looking all shocked and surprised because she's like, "You mean they give warranties for flats?" And no, he told her he had to get a new tire, but he had already told her that she was going to need a new tire.
And that don't look like it can be fixed, by the way. You're gonna need a new tire.
But it's just a nail. She fine, right?
Yeah, but it's in the sidewall. If it wasn't for that, I could have just plugged it up.
So Fatima, she asked him, "What is the real reason you came over here?" And he said he wanted her to feel like she was indebted to him in some kind of way, but basically he wanted her to go out to dinner with him. Fatima shut it down again and was like, "No, not unless you inviting me and my man." He was like, "Oh, you're funny." She was like, "But I'm for real. For real, for real." So he was like, "Well, I did want you to have the warranty." So she said, "Well, and I'm going to make sure you get this payment." So she proceeds to write him a check. And he says he's not going to take it. He doesn't want to take it. She insists. She writes the check out, gives it to him. And he tells her that they only have like a week left with the whole construction thing and that he's really going to miss her. And she's like, "You don't even know me." And I'm like, "See, this how I know this man is cuckoo. It's only been like 2 days, Paul. How are you going to be missing her? Like, I need to know what happened to Paul's other exes, the one that looked like Fatima. What happened to them?" So anyway, he goes to tell her about this is how this thing goes, about one person cheats and the other person cheats. Some kind of fool-la-la he was talking about. And Fatima said, "No, that's not me and Zach. And plus now we're seeing Dr. Reed." I don't know why she told him that, but it's not like he don't know it anyway because, he seems to be everywhere she goes. And he was like, "Okay, whatever." He pulls the check out of his pocket and tells her, "Oh, your phone number is on this check." So she's looking like, oh, shit, she messed up. She told him, "Don't even try it. You're not to use that." And I'm pretty sure that went in one ear and out of the other with Paul because he's going to find any and every reason he can to be able to use that number to call Fatima no matter what she just told him. So we go over there to the parking garage at the law firm where we got Tony and Nate sitting in the car on their little stakeout trying to catch Fatima in some stuff. So Tony, he over there sweating bullets. Patting his forehead, he just drenching in sweat. Nate, he over there cool as a cucumber thinking he goddamn Inspector Gadget, like he really gonna catch something. So those two, they're going back and forth, and Nate is like, "Well, we know that our boy done been through this one time before with you-know-who." And I'm like, "Well, Nate, enlighten us on who is you-know-who. Like, who are you talking about? We need to know." So they go back and forth about that. And they bring up Connie, that Connie can get Zach back on track, that they know how Zach acts when he's around Connie. So Tony mentions that Connie has been off lately. But Nate was like, "Well, she bad anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like, we need Connie." So as they're doing all of that, Tony, he's like not really with it. So Nate was like, "You are like a flip-flopper. You always flip-flopping back and forth, always talking out your ass." Now, I must say, Tony is a flip-flopper. One minute he wants to be mature, the next minute he is with all the shits when it comes to Nate and his antics. So he do flip-flop. Next thing you know, we see Zach creeping behind the cars, and he eases in the back seat, and they dap each other up like, I'm here, like she came out yet. And I'm like, these some damn fools. So they like, "Nah, she ain't come out yet." So he looked at Tony. He's like, "Well, goddamn, what, you nervous?" Tony was like, "Hell yeah." And he was like, "You sweating like a little stripper in church." Tony was like, "I ain't trying to get shot, bro." So they finally see Fatima. She's walking by. They're like, oh, there she go, there she go. And she goes over to the stairwell, and then she gets to the door, and she looks around like checking her surroundings, but really making it seem like she looking suspicious, like she making sure nobody see her go in there. So Zach, he in the back seat fighting the air like, oh my God, she going in the stairwell like, oh my God, it's true, it's true. They're like, they forcing him to get out the car now. The thing about Zach is, you sat there and talked to Mr. Tyrone and had this little long conversation about taking advice from other people, but yet and still you got your dumb ass sitting in this truck being convinced that your girl is up to something, and they convince his crazy behind to get out the truck to go see what she doing in the stairwell, and he does just that. So as Zach is speed walking towards the staircase, here comes Angela like, Zach, like, what are you doing here? Then you see Nate and Tony, they jump up out the truck like, oh, she trying to cover for her. You know how these bees do. And Angela looking around like, what's going on? Like, what are y'all talking about? And Nate, he ain't having it. He don't want to hear nothing. He was like, what's going on? Your girl, she's a hussy. And Zach tried to tell them to leave, just go. Tony trying to calm Nate down. Nate ain't having none of that. But Zach, he convinces the both of them to leave. So they end up leaving. And he tells Angela that he needed a ride, and they just was there because he got beef in the streets, like he in some gang or something, and he needed that kind of protection from his friends. So Angela was like, well, speaking of friends, like, where Fatima at? Because I thought she already left. So Zach points to where her car is, and they see that her car's still there. So Angela like, well, where is she? So he says, oh, she went to that stairwell over there. So Angela was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I got to go turn in my reports too. That's where we go at the end of the day to turn our reports in. So now Zach feeling like a whole plumb fool because he was listening to Nate and his raggedy behind. So now all of a sudden Zach, he kind of want to leave, but some kind of way Angela brings up the whole thing about the dinner, wanting to bring Bryce and another friend. So she's begging. As she's doing all of that, here comes Fatima. And they continue to beg. And, Fatima told him she didn't get a chance to tell him or whatever. So he ends up saying yes at that particular moment. Not really that he wanted to. And so Angela, she ends up leaving. So once she leaves, Fatima's like, what are you doing here? Are you here to check up on me again? Is that what we're doing? And of course, he's stumbling and stammering over his words, don't know what to say. So he's saying like, oh, it's hot. Can we just get in the car and go home? And Fatima like, nope, you came here for a reason. So what is it? She's like, we're not going nowhere, like basically until you tell me what you came here for. So he ends up pulling his phone out, showing her the profile on the app that supposed to be hers. So she's like looking at the pictures like, what the hell? Like, going through the whole thing, and the whole time she doing that, Zach looking like, like he really kind of believed that it's her, but really watching her response to it all. And she says, look, this is somebody that knows me, who knows my work schedule. So they come to that conclusion, like it got to be somebody she knows. So she said, the better question is, how did you find the profile? You online looking for bitches? He was like, oh, no, somebody sent it to me. She like, who sent it to you? So they have to go back and forth with that because he didn't want to tell that it was raggedy ass Nate. And so he ended up telling her that it was Nate. And she was like, just another reason for me not to like his ass. So Fatima was like, you mean you really came down here to really try to catch me up or something? Zach just bald-faced lying. No, baby, I would never do that. That was them, They the one came over here. They was ready to go all in. And, I had to run on over here. And she was like, really? So she said, you know what? Do me a favor. Why don't you just lay down on the ground for me? So I don't know why Zach would actually think that she really was going to try to have sex with him in the parking lot. They do already have like a viral video going around of them at her job. And see, this is another thing I'm saying. I said damn near every episode. Zach constantly goes to Fatima's job as if he has nothing else to do. Grown-ass men, damn near mid to late 30s, constantly going to somebody's job with some foolishness all the time. It's ridiculous. So anyway, she tells him to lay on the ground. So for whatever reason, Zach thinks she getting ready to straddle him or ride him or something. I don't know. Talk about, oh, you freaky. You got that freaky look. So she was like, yeah, stay right there. So she goes to get in her car and he's laying there like, oh, Fatima, don't get in that car. Don't start that car up. And child, please, Fatima ain't stunning his ass, politely gets in and drives, getting ready to run his ass over. So then his phone rings and it's Nate. So Zach was like, where y'all at? So of course they coming from out the shadows because you know they never left in the first place. So Nate, he runs up there like, oh, did you get it? Did you catch her? He gonna give him dap and all of that. So Zach, he looks at Nate and he's like, let me ask you a question. Who set this app up? Who set this profile up? Nate looking at Zach like he don't know what Zach is talking about. So Zach proceeds to bend Nate's fingers all back, got him all the way on his knees on the ground, wincing in pain. And he was like, I'm asking you again, who did it? So he ends up telling them Fatima wasn't doing nothing. She was in there taking her files in there. And Nate was like, well, did she tell you that? He said she didn't have to because Angela was doing the same thing. Tony over there trying to help Nate out, talking about that's his throwing hand and this and that and the other. Zach telling him, you need to be quiet. I'm here because of y'all. And I'm like, no, Zach, you're there because of you. You control you. They don't control you, or do they? You can't blame that on them because you are a grown behind man. So anyway, I thought it was funny as hell just watching him down there like that in pain like that. So Zach was like, look, you got 1 hour to get the profile taken down or I'm going to break all your fingers and shove them up your ass and I'm going to F you up. And Nate, he's scrambling around like, okay. I'll take it down. I'll find out who did it. First he said he'll take it down. So I'm like, well, did you have something to do with it or you didn't? Because I really want to believe he did not have anything to do with it because Nate seems like the type that he would eventually admit it. So I don't know. Hopefully we get to find out who actually did it. So we go over there to where it's Zach and Fatima's and they're getting dressed for this 8 o'clock dinner with Bryce, Angela, and Dr. Reed. And so Zach, he wants to talk about the events that happened in the parking garage. And Fatima, of course, she's like, what are we going to talk about? You thinking that I'm having sex with some random in the stairwell? So Zach lies and says that he didn't think she really did that. So she wants to know, what has she done that make him think that she's cheated on him? So he brings up the fact that she got out of Sean's truck and he's never seen that car pull up to the house before, and the fact that she was on her knees in the elevator. Now, she already explained the elevator thing, but for some reason, she has yet to try to even attempt to tell him what that was about with the whole car situation with Sean. She actually says nothing. So she says, oh, so my word means nothing? And he was like, well, does mine? So she says no. Like, Fatima, like, how do you want him to believe you, but you don't automatically believe him? Like, just because he may have cheated on Karen or whoever in the past, you haven't caught him cheating since you guys have been together. So why can't his word be bond? Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, he got a little shaky past, but people do change. And just because you say you haven't cheated on your exes does not mean that's the truth. Like, you can make your mouth fried chicken. That don't make it the truth. He don't know that. You just know of his past because of Andy and Karen and everybody talking about it. But I mean, yeah, Zach coming out of Deja's house rock hard does not help his case at all. So I guess I get it. But they get into the whole back and forth, the same little argument they had when they were in the bed about her running, moving back to her apartment, and she blurting out something about him treating her like a random ass bitch, which I don't understand why she says that because that doesn't make any sense. But, you know, he says she's deflecting and it's always him. Just the same argument. So she tells him, she brings up, look, we got to have this little dinner with Bryce and Angela them, and really this is not the time. And of course, Zach, he really don't want to be bothered with these people. He's like, we got our own problems, which is true. And he doesn't know why he got to be bothered with them. He don't want to be fooled up with Bryce. Bryce tried to kiss him. And Fatima says, oh, well, you hit him, so y'all are even. And I'm trying to figure out now, Fatima, how are they even? Now, if a guy comes up to you and kind of gropes you or does some kind of sexually assault type thing to you and you just say, let's say you slap him, does that make you even? Does that make you feel less violated? I don't think so. So I don't like that she said that to him, because that's not true. They're not even because he hit him back. No. So Angela and Bryce, they arrive, and Zach, he's instantly annoyed, don't really want to be bothered still. Angela, she ends up going upstairs to talk to Fatima, and now Bryce is sitting there staring at Zach, like looking for a reason to start talking. So he asks Zach about the property again, knowing damn well the answer has not changed. Zach tells him no, he has not thought about it again because he does not have the money. Again, Bryce, why do you keep asking that? So Zach asked him, did he bother to call Gary? And he told him, no, not really. He hasn't called him back. So, Bryce ends up saying, are we good? Are we good? I just been under a lot of stress, just babbling on. And Zach told him they were fine. He said they were good. Bryce wants to start drinking the wine. I guess Zach wanted no parts of that. So he said, you know what? I left my phone outside. I'm going to go outside and get my phone until the girls come back downstairs. So we go upstairs, and Fatima is asking Angela about Dr. Reed, and she says that Dr. Reed is on his way. He's supposedly around the corner or something. So the girls, they hope that everything goes right, that the dinner goes okay. Angela, she's kind of nervous. She's glad that Fatima is there with her so she can get it out and make sure that it's said right or whatever. Fatima told her that she's always had a problem with confrontation, which I find hard to believe, because when she was on the phone and thought some girl was over there at Fatima's house, she was ready to go over there and help whip some ass. So that's not true. But we'll just keep going. So she told her that it was not healthy. So I guess Angela didn't like that. And she was like, oh, so what, you and Zach are? And, they get into the whole thing. She was like, well, I always confront Zach about everything. And Angela told her, but yet and still you got me lying about the whole doctor thing. So Fatima, she tries to clean that up, and they go into the whole dating shouldn't be this hard. And Fatima was like, we're not getting any younger and life is too short. Child. Anyway, Angela said she was there to, say what she needed to say and get everything off her chest, but she was going to have a drink first. So the two of them, they head back downstairs. So the two of them, they get downstairs, and Fatima, she greets Bryce and he hugs her, tell her she's always beautiful. So she asks, can she get them anything? And of course they're drinking and they're making these innuendos because Angela said she wanted something hard. And of course Bryce chimed in and they're looking crazy like, oh Lord. And Angela was like, give me 2 of those shots. They're drinking tequila shots, toasting to the dinner. And then Fatima gets a phone call from her mom. So after they greet each other or whatever, Mona basically is trying to confirm that they still were on for dinner for the following day at 7 o'clock. Fatima is like, she's not sure about it because, things are rocky over there. She didn't tell her mom that, but basically saying that she don't know if Zach still wants to go. And Mona just let it be known that, look, we ran a background check. They know all about the arrest that's been made, him being arrested for child support, asking how many kids he got when she already know the answer. She knows about Heather, knows he got the baby on the way from Karen, which nobody really knows that, but whatever. And just, she says that it's a couple of things that they found out and they don't want to discuss it until they see him in person at the dinner table. So what do you guys think that is? Did it have something to do with maybe something with jail or his family? Something probably got to do with Jeremiah since they keep talking about that. So who's to say what really happened, what they're going to accuse Zach of doing? Who knows? But we'll find out, I guess. So she confirms with her mom because the mom insisted if they didn't show up to their house the next day at 7 o'clock, that her and the stepfather would be coming to their house. So that was a done deal. So Fatima, she hangs up with Mona. So apparently Mona is known to be difficult because Angela goes and takes Fatima the whole thing of tequila so she can drink after that conversation. So Fatima tells her all about her stepfather, and her running the background check says that the father knows judges and prosecutors. So, they talk about all of that. She asks her why she not over there with Bryce. Angela tells her because she don't want to be. So Fatima, she feels a little sorry for Bryce. When you look in the background, Bryce over there on the sofa laid the hell out like he is already drunk as a skunk. So when this dinner gets on and popping, you already know it's going to be a hot mess because he is already lit. Stumbling, trying to stand up, just wobbling in the background. So Fatima says she going to go talk to him because Zach not talking to him, Angela not talking to him. So Angela didn't give a damn. She said, be my guest. So Fatima was like, did you know that Zach came to the job thinking she was sleeping with somebody because somebody set up this fake profile? And when you look at the look on Angela's face, she looked a little shocked and shook, right? So Fatima was like, this is somebody who obviously knows our schedule and knows where we take our files, this and that and the other. And she automatically says that it has to be Belinda. And once again, Angela says that it's not Belinda because she wouldn't do anything like that. Now, mind you, when Fatima's tire got flattened, she asked Fatima, who does she think would do something like that? Fatima said Belinda or Hayden. And automatically, Angela said, no, Belinda wouldn't do nothing like that. Now, why is it that Angela thinks that Belinda is not capable of those things when we clearly seen Angela do some shady, dirty stuff? She tried to sleep with Zach. She put the viral video. She put the video out when you asked her not to. So what make you think she wouldn't do other things? I'm confused. Now, Angela being the only other person that would know Fatima's schedule, why isn't she looked at? Why wouldn't, she hot in the cooch. So why wouldn't she set up a profile to be trying to hunt somebody? It look like she'll do it anywhere. That's how she be acting. So why she trying to take up for Belinda? Why? Because it's you? I'm confused at that. But anyway, and another thing, since when has Belinda worked with you guys to know y'all schedule? Explain to the audience now, because we have never seen Belinda go to the job as if she worked with you guys. You've never mentioned it. So how would Belinda know you guys' schedule? Please tell us that. Don't just throw that out there and just and want us to assume it's Belinda. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Because that don't even add up. So we go back outside with Zach. And of course, Deja, she's sitting in her car. And I'm instantly annoyed because she's playing that role again. And Zach takes his behind over there and actually helps her get out the car. And I'm just dumbfounded. I can't believe it. I'm like, I want Fatima to walk outside so bad. So they start all that mumbo jumbo again. And basically the bottom line is, because I'm kind of through with these two, Deja tells Zach that she contacted someone. Basically, she's going to serve them with papers. She's suing both of them. And the person she talked to told her don't even pay the rent as well. Zach, he gets in his feelings, goes back to his side, tells her he hasn't seen a thing, stay away from him. And Fatima basically, and she said stay away from her. And she wobbles her little tail in the house with a little neck brace on. And the episode ends there. So what did you guys think about this episode? Leave your thoughts and comments down below. As always, you guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.